The film opens up with a young girl named Josie Geller who works as a replica editor for the newspaper called the Chicago Solar-Times. Josie is without a doubt clever. However, her activity is kind of dull and her lifestyles feels like a never-ending routine. Josie's large dream is to emerge as a reporter and is continually sending her boss, Gus, thoughts for information stories at the same time as Gus appreciates her enthusiasm. He does not suppose she's quite equipped to be a reporter. He advises her to persist with her modern-day activity and cognizance, disappointing Josie because of her unhappiness. Josie has a tendency to hold to herself and avoid socializing together with her co-employees. Her coworker Anita is pretty. The alternative, she enjoys sharing tales about her romantic adventures. Josie, on the opposite hand, does not display plenty hobby in these conversations. In the future, the hard boss of the newspaper, Rigfort, gives Josie a hard undertaking. He wishes her to move undercover at an excessive school and study the scholars' lives and secrets. She desires to sign up as a scholar and get near the kids. Josie is surely excited about this possibility, despite the fact that Anita and Gus warn her it is able to value her activity. Josie reassures them that she's up for the mission and is keen to be part of it. After paintings, Josie is going to satisfy her brother Rob and excitedly tells him about her new project. Rob used to be an excessive college baseball superstar, however now he too feels unsatisfied along with his existence. He's worried about Josie going back to excessive school. Undercover, he reminds her of the tough time she had in excessive college, wherein she became an outcast and became teased with a hurtful nickname, Josie Growy. Here we analyze that this nickname and the difficult excessive faculty revel in nevertheless haunt her, and she, or he's by no means had a romantic courting due to her loss of self-assurance. Notwithstanding her anxiousness, Josie is decided to stand this new challenge head-on and comes to a decision to sign up inside the excessive faculty and complete the reporting earlier than leaving. He requests Rob to alternate exchange vehicles with her, and the latter reluctantly has the same opinion. The movie then shifts to Josie's very first day at South Glen South excessive faculty, where her try and make a stylish entrance turns into a chunk of a fashion fiasco. She ends up looking pretty. A laugh in her outfit. This unlucky incident triggers a go back to her old geeky persona that haunted her in the course of her first excessive school experience. Late for class, she encounters her eccentric menopausal instructor, who punishes her with the aid of making her put on a sombrero while asked to introduce herself to the class. Josie faces a project in and try to suit, and she spins a bizarre tale claiming to be from Bali and her circle of relatives to be worried in sheep farming. It is a rather unusual tale, and it does not take long for the scholars to burst into laughter, in large part because of her unusual outfit. Josie also has an unsightly run-in with three suggest and famous ladies named Gibby, Kirsten, and Kristen to add to the awkwardness. Guy Perkins, the maximum attractive and popular pupil at South Glen South, makes an appearance. This meeting with the faculty's heartthrob best deepens Josie's preliminary soreness. Later in her literature elegance matters start looking up. A younger teacher named Sam Colston asks a query, and Josie, no longer handiest, answers it conveniently, however also manages to electrify him. Her instructional achievement marks a superb turn in her undercover task. After the faculty day ends, Josie discovers that Guy Perkins and his pals have played a prank on her by way of hiding her automobile. This leaves her annoyed, however her temper brightens while she meets Alice, a kind-hearted intelligent female who befriends her. Alice openly expresses her dislike for Guy Perkins and his gang, referring to them as lemmings in Go Back. Man and his friends recollect Alice to be uncool, and geeky Alice suggests that Josie should join a collection referred to as the Denominators, inclusive of the schools. Brilliant as college students, the two then cross for lunch, collectively, wherein Josie tries to get a tale for her newspaper undertaking, but faces difficulties and is interrupted through a call from Gus. In the next scene we study that Josie's admiration is growing for her younger English instructor Sam Carlson, who happens to be a Shakespeare enthusiast. Just like her, she will become the top student in his elegance, answering all of his questions with enthusiasm and frequently flashing a grin in his direction. But whilst she's tied with reciting a romantic excerpt from Shakespeare to Sam, painful reminiscences resurface of a comparable revel in from her excessive school days lower back. Then she examine a romantic poem, a low in elegance to her way, down a popular boy named Billy Prince, which most effective led to embarrassment to her surprise. Her friend Sheila techniques her in the library and tells her that Billy Prince wants to take Josie to the senior prom. Pleasurable, her dream fast forward to the prevailing. Josie is out driving at night with Alice. They move paths with Guy Perkins and his team at a neighborhood hangout known as the Court Docket, an area in which inappropriate activities and underage consuming are prevalent. Guy's unsightly behavior toward Josie contrasts with Aldous, who outwardly claims that nothing interesting happens at the courtroom. However, Josie, drawing from her very own beyond studies, realizes that Aldous secretly longs for a taste of recognition and adventure in her lifestyles, in spite of her claims to the contrary. Tomorrow, at paintings, Gus gets annoyed due to the fact every other newspaper has revealed the reality approximately the courtroom and the lives of teens, so he yells at Josie due to the fact she's failed to do it earlier than their competition, and urges her to come to be friends with the popular children in college and examine more about them for the subsequent exciting tale. After paintings, Josie is going domestic and opens up to her brother Rob. She tearfully tells him that her cutting-edge excessive faculty experience is much like her antique one, full of misery, and all she needs is to be every day without being mistreated. She also talks approximately her being scolded by means of her boss Rob, who used to be certainly popular in college. Encourages Josie. He believes that if she can make one cool person like her, no one will dare to question her. He urges her to permit pass of her past and start clean. Day after today, when Josie arrives at school, she's amazed to discover a colleague anticipating her. He sets up a hidden digital camera for her to put on to be able to ship return statistics to Gus. This leads to the whole office Beck obsessed with Josie's tale. In the meantime, Josie overhears man speaking about a cool band playing at a bar that night time. She quietly grabs a flyer about the event and plans to check it out later. The hidden camera data Josie's activities inside the lecture room. Anita, after listening to Josie's Shakespeare recital, starts to sense unhappy about her own promiscuous lifestyle. She will become interested in Gus, and although he first of all tells her to depart him alone, he later has the same opinion to meet her at night time to talk about their lives at night. Josie follows Guy and his buddies to the bar. She enters there being a youngster, and to her marvel she meets her English teacher Sam and his uptight girlfriend Laura. Josie greets Laura politely, however Laura acts rudely and asks Sam to depart the place, reputedly jealous of Josie. Our female then methods a group of boys who trick her into eating a hash brownie, making her act foolishly. She gets intoxicated and ends up dancing wildly on degree in front of Guy, the girls, and Sam. Tomorrow, Josie over sleeps for school, unbeknownst to her. The stamp on her hand from the membership, the Night before imprints the phrase loser on her brow. She fortunately is going to high school, but she's horrified whilst all and sundry makes a laugh of her. Aggravated, she rushes to the bathroom, sees the mark on her face, and turns into sick. She breaks down in tears and remembers the night time of her promenade from her own excessive college lifestyles. Josie turned into excited on the idea of going with Billy Prince. However, while he arrived in a limo with some other female, they threw eggs and insults at her, leaving her in tears. While Josie runs via the school halls feeling embarrassed, she meets her brother Rob, who has enrolled as a new student and is decided to assist her turn out to be famous. Surprisingly, Rob becomes an on-the-spot hit with Guy Perkins and the opposite, cool youngsters. By spinning exquisite testimonies approximately Josie, convincing everyone that she's no longer a loser. This upsets her pal Aldous, however. It makes Josie less complicated to hang out with the popular crowd to get to understand them better. On every other word Josie and her English trainer Sam develop nearer, but the latter struggles together with his feelings, because he believes she's just a student and consequently off limits. After Rob's intervention, Guy begins seeing Josie in a one-of-a-kind light and even begins searching at her and smiling, which surprises her later within the magnificence. Whilst the scholars talk the theme for the senior prom, Guy enables Josie suggest men add for each different a subject matter, celebrating famous couples from round the sector. The idea is a success, making Josie even extra popular with the cool group and a few of the students. Soon the arrangements for the prom night time start, and Josie goes shopping on the mall. There she learns that university college students frequently buy costly garments for prom and then return them tomorrow, claiming that they were by no means used. She shares this with Gus, her boss, who is surprised when he finds the WH